I'm out here doing a little bit of prospecting, and smell that? Smell yellow gold.
Whoa! Body living and loving, paying the bills, keeping things real, man, you know the deal. But when it's time for me to unwind, I gotta go someplace where the sun can shine, and there ain't no better place than out in the country. There's gold in them hills, and I'm gonna find it. It's a sight to see. You can't believe how the color of gold makes you lose control. Well, there's gold in them hills, and I've got the fever. And there ain't no other place that I'd rather be. My friends come down and enjoy hanging out, and the kids are knee deep in the sand by the creek. Yeah, we're chasing the dog, let's put another log on the fire. There's times like these that make it all worth the while to me. There's gold in them hills, and I'm gonna find it. It's a sight to see. You can't believe how the color of gold makes you lose control. Well, there's gold in them hills, and I've got the fever. And there ain't no other place that I'd rather be. When the night comes down, we're all sitting around, playing guitars under the stars, singing about the nugget I've been dreaming about. And I say even the picture of it weighed 5 pounds, and it's right under the next rock, I do believe. There's gold in them hills, and I'm gonna find it. It's a sight to see. You can't believe how the color of gold makes you lose control. Well, there's gold in them hills, and I've got the fever. And there ain't no other place that I'd rather be. No other place that I'd rather be.
Now what happens is your gold being heavy, we want it to work its way down to the bottom and then get trapped right in behind these little traps right here and wash the light stuff off. And that's the basic gold catcher gold pan right there. And I happen to have me some material that I got from my secret spot.
Gold Fever Adventures Radio is brought to you in part by TNT Outpost. Getting gold has never been easier. ICMJ, a monthly magazine for gold prospectors. And Gold Fever Adventures Campground, where gold prospectors gather. Hey, welcome everybody. It is Wednesday once again. Let me get this thing turned down just a tad bit. I don't know if that helps or not. Anyways, it's welcome Wednesday. It is May 4th. May the 4th be with you. Yeah, that's right. May the 4th be with you. See, this is my new sidekick for all of you guys that don't know my sidekick. Say hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Okay, now I'll go back, lay back down again, okay? You said your hello. Anyways, May 4th. You guys all know where May 4th came from, don't you? Star Wars, huh? May the 4th be with you. May 4th, actually, 1979, the elections of Britain. Margaret Thatcher, that's how that thing started. May the 4th be with you. Let's see, on this day, 1959, first Grammy Awards were presented. In 1970, 4 students were shot at Kent State protesting the Vietnam War. Not much happening in this world. Anyways, birthdays, not a lot of birthdays. Audrey Hepburn, 1929, she was born. She would have been 63. She died in 1993. But your birthday, hey, happy birthday to you. Anyways, that's all I'm reading about that. I don't know what's going on with the gold prices. Gold's really dropping like crazy lately, it seems like. Let's see. Hello, Nathan, Aaron, Brian, Paul, Mike. No, Mike, I haven't been out prospecting for any gold lately. I detected in a park. Actually, that's what I've been doing, detecting in parks along my journey. I was in a park today detecting. Hello, Herb, Jerry, Hello, Jerry. Let's see. Don G. David, welcome, guys. Uh, Next Wednesday, you guys, some of you have been asking about the gold. You know, all the gold I found, I'm giving it away. We'll start giving away. We'll start giving away next Wednesday, or we'll do it live Wednesday on the show. Hello, David. David and David, right there, two Davids in a row. Anyways, we'll start giving it away next Wednesday on the show live. We'll do a wheel starting next week sometime, but I'll announce that anyway next week. So that's all to do there. Our guest tonight, let's bring him in right now. The one, the only, Clint. Hey, buddy. Your microphone's off.
Hi there. Is that working?
Yeah, introduce yourself. Everybody don't know who you are.
Okay, well, for those who don't know who I am, I'm Clint Wasburn. I am the inventor of the Gold Claw. And so Gold Claw is, it's a company, we make gold pans currently. And we don't just make any old gold pan. This is the new Gold Claw technology, which is all about displacement. Normal gold pans use suspension forces to remove the light material. When that water washes out, it suspends the material. Ours does not use that at all. And because of that, for one, it catches a lot more gold that you would normally not be able to catch, but also it is so much faster. And there's the new big one. That one is amazing. That thing, if you go on our YouTube channel, you'll see that I have a video out there where I'm using that to pan a 5-gallon bucket. And if you want to make a lot of gold, you have to go through a lot of dirt. And I go through that 5-gallon bucket in 40 seconds. And
that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's a whole new different way of panning. And you know, we've been going out to these gold shows. We just barely went to the one in North Carolina. And we go out to these shows because we want people to see it for themselves. Hey, I see some people saying hi out there. Hi, Don. Hi, David. Jason. Hi, Jason. Hi, everybody. Yeah, so that's why we go out to these shows, is to give people a chance to see it for themselves. That this new way of panning gold is really different. It's nothing like the round pan. You know, it's a pan, but the way those grooves are designed, look at that. I mean, it's not round at all, and there's a reason for all those ribs the way they are. It's meant to separate gold in a whole different way. And so if you're trying to swirl and dip like a round pan with that, it's not going to work right. But if you watch our videos and use it the way it's designed, it's going to give you a whole different experience in panning. Faster, easier, and you're going to catch things you were missing before.
That's right. You can see what my favorite one is. That this is the little sample one. This is the main one I use. I thought you were going to be doing us some demos tonight.
I'll tell you, I have a hard time deciding which one's my favorite, because originally the original was my favorite because it does it all. It's small enough you can take it anywhere, but it moves enough material that you can pan some serious gold. But then that pocket pan, it has become kind of my new favorite because it is so easy to take anywhere. It catches the gold as good as the big ones, but it literally fits in your pocket, and it's so easy to take anywhere that it literally makes me giddy thinking about how I can always have that pan with me anywhere I go. And then, of course, how do you compete with a 5-gallon bucket in under a minute? That's a paradigm changer.
What's good about these pans, you take them when you go prospecting. You have a whole bunch of them, like about 5 or 6 of them. And what you do is when you're sitting around the campfire, you give them to all your friends so they can go gold pan. But when you give them out, it's got ice cream and bananas in here. So it's a perfect banana split boats like thing. See? So it's dual purpose.
I've heard of people eating out of those. You're joking about it, but I actually heard of people that it's made of a Triton material. It's rugged. You may not be able to keep your dishes alive, but this thing will stay alive.
Well, this one you can almost bathe in, you know.
Have you seen pictures of kids sitting in those like a tub?
Yes,
I
yes,
have too.
yes. So, so what I still got to do that I haven't done yet, and I want to do a video of that upcoming real soon, and that's using that medium one to dry pan in.
The big one or the small one? Those are the two best dry panning ones.
No, this one.
Have you tried the other two to dry pan?
Well, I don't think it was this one, but remember, I took a small one with me when I went inside the superstitions for that week and did
Hmm.
panning. And so I think that was the little blue one I had with me there. Oh, this little fellow wants to come up to say hi. Say hi.
Hello, little
Hello.
fellow.
Hello, little fella.
I think I heard you saying food. He's hungry.
Oh, I already fed
She?
her earlier. Yeah. So anyway, I'm in your neck of the woods almost.
What? Where are you?
I stayed last night in Walmart in Cedar City,
Cedar
and
City. Yeah. You're in
now I
Utah.
am. Yes, I am in Utah. Now I'm actually near a town, Paraguay or something like that.
Paragon.
I think that's what it is, Paraguay, before Beaver, between Cedar City and Beaver.
Oh, yeah. There's a little town. I can't remember its name, but something like that. Well,
That's
you're
where
not
I'm
that
at right
far
now.
away. I'm going to be back Thursday, tomorrow, back in
Oh,
Utah. If you're up my way, you should stop by.
I would. I was going to go to Idaho this time. This is my trip again, but the price of fuel, I decided I've got to go to Salt Lake for Mother's Day. I'll be in Salt Lake for Mother's Day. But I figured that's probably, or West Jordan, but that's probably about as far as I'm going north because of the fuel prices. It's kicking my butt.
That's close enough. I could run down there. Maybe
Yeah?
I could give you some prizes to give away.
Hey, that'd be cool. Yeah, I'd meet you someplace up there. You're going to be
Yeah.
back Thursday. I'll be there on Friday.
So
I'll be
Friday
up
would
there.
be the best chance. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll touch
I
base with
am
you.
currently in New Jersey right now.
New Jersey?
New Jersey.
Wow. So you do something else other than your gold pans.
I do. Yeah. I mean, I am a business consultant. I talk to big and small companies, but mostly big companies. I've worked with oil and gas companies up in Canada, down in the US, Texas. I work with food companies. You may have heard of a few. Del Monte is one. I'm working with one right now called Parados, which I honestly hadn't realized their name before, but now that I'm working with them, I recognize it from the past. But they make things like bread for Subway. They supply the food to other stores like Costco. When you get those muffins, these guys provide that mix for them. So I work with all kinds of companies.
And I guess also, oh, so other people's talking in here. Terry, welcome Terry. Soup freak. Let's see. WY Gold's Metal Detecting Ventures, Parowan, Utah, just not far from
Heroin.
Beaver. Been out in that region prospecting close to Medona, Utah, back in the
Yeah, I
late
didn't get down there
1990s.
enough to really know that town
Par,
much.
yeah, Parowan or something like that. Yes. So, I years ago I read there's um, books, treasure magazines in in one town coming through here on I-15. Somebody found a coin in a park that was worth, well, I guess they sold it or something about $6,000. So I started researching parks, and so this part of Utah coming up through here is kind of old. So I've been metal detecting in some of these parks. Last year I found a cool coin. This year I found in the park, I found a silver mercury diamond. I think it was a 1941 mercury, but I found a 1902. I think that's what it was. V nickel. I don't know
Huh.
what kind of nickel that is, but it had the V on it. I'm assuming it's a nickel.
So what's something like that
1902.
worth these days?
I don't know, but that was kind of cool. Then I found a whole bunch of modern coins and stuff like that, and I found a copper bracelet. But so when I'm not hunting gold, I'm hunting parks. There's no gold in Utah, as we all know.
Yeah, I took my son out to the nearby lake and did a little metal detecting. We cleaned up a bunch of trash, but didn't find anything terribly exciting.
Uh, David says they have snow. I'll tell you what, it is cold out here. I have a heater going.
I see Terry Curry saying, anything around the corner, Clint? Well, I'll tell you what, this COVID, not the COVID, but the response to COVID has taken the wind out of my sails. So I know I'm getting close on a really cool machine, but that has definitely been slowed down by all this COVID activity. It's a cool machine though. And you got a peek at it, right? When you came up?
I did. That was a. Do you still got your Tesla?
Of course I do. I finally made my last payment on it. What a relief.
Oh,
People talk about being house poor, right? Buy a big fancy house and then that's all you can do is make house payments. That's how I felt with that Tesla. Making two house payments, one for the Tesla and one for the house. But we finally got that paid off, so that's awesome.
I was kind of looking at them online the other day, thinking, but there's a question though that I wanted to ask you. So what people are kind of talking about, what do you do when you got to replace the batteries in those things?
Well, that was our only real worry with getting a Tesla. And so far, these batteries are outlasting all the projections on them. But when you do have to replace them, it's, you spend a little bit of money, put a new one in. I think I've heard rumors like $30,000 just to replace your battery.
That's what somebody said. You just go buy a new car.
Well, that's the price of a regular car, but it's much cheaper than a Tesla. But those prices keep coming down too. So I'm hoping by the time I actually need one, our battery's still in great shape as far as we can tell. We just had it checked, so it should have a long life on it. And when it finally does need replacing, maybe by then they'll have the price down a little bit. I'm hoping.
How many miles? How many miles you got on that thing?
Oh, we've got about 150,000 miles on it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty good then.
Yeah, we use it like a car. We don't, stick it in the garage and put cloth over it and then pull it out on New Year's Eve or something. We drive it. That thing's fun.
It got me because I was in the Walmart parking lot in Mesquite, I think it was, Nevada, and they had charging stations there. And so I walked over there just to look at the guy. I was watching him pull in and put his credit card in the machine, and then he leaves. And so I walked over there and just to look at them all, and I guess there's two charging. One's a slow charge, one's a fast charge or something, and they said it was like 56% charge, and I'm thinking, oh my god, wonder what that thing charges and how far you can go. And so I started looking at cars online, and so I was looking at Teslas, and I saw some of them like with 18,000 miles on them and stuff, and I thought, wonder if I should get me a Tesla one day.
You should. They are great, but I learned my lesson. I bought it brand new, and the price goes way down on it. So here's my car, about less than half the price of when I bought it if I were to go rebuy it. But it drives like the day I bought it. The Teslas just don't wear out. It's just like brand new. It's not like a gas engine where you get a lot of miles, it gets hard to run and wimpy. No, this thing is just amazing still.
Have you ever ran?
I didn't buy a Tesla, to save money on gas. That's silly to even think about that. I mean, you spend as much as you do on a Tesla, you'll never make it up in gas. But I got it because the acceleration there's nothing like it. Oh my goodness. And I love cars that can accelerate. So.
Oh yeah, I remember that 0 to 60 in like a second.
It puts you back in the seat, but But if you're ever in a pinch, you just drop the pedal and everything is so slow compared to you that it's like driving around cones. So you can get yourself out of trouble real easy. Have you ever run out of juice? Yes, I ran out once. It was a cold, wintry, foggy day, and the fog was so thick I could not see my exit, and I knew I was really low. So I ended up missing it. And to turn around and do the U-turn, it was 12 miles up and 12 miles back. And so I literally was about, 300 yards from my house and ran out of gas, ran out of juice. It was so bad because I was turning left to go into my turnoff, and it had already quit accelerating, so I was just coasting. So I knew that was it. That is all I was going to have. And I got to the intersection. And if you're in a gas car, what do? When no gas, you got to get it just through the intersection while you jump out and push it from the door, right? So I start to make the turn. I jump out to push it from the door, but it's a Tesla. So what do you think the Tesla's thinking? Oh, the driver just got out of his seat. I better put it in park. So here I am facing oncoming traffic in super dense fog that I couldn't even see enough to make my turn. And my car's stopped with no way to get it to go. And it's locked. It was awful. And so here I am thinking, well, a car's going to come out of that fog and run into this thing face on. And so we call Tesla and we're like, how do you get this thing out of park? Because I keep trying to put it into neutral and it says no, it doesn't have enough power. And they say, we can't tell you because it's a safety issue. If we told you how to take that thing out of park, it could hurt somebody. And we're like, are you kidding me? We've got cars coming out of the fog that are about to ram into the front of this car, and you're worried about that? And so my wife had to Google it and figure it out and finally figure out how to get into neutral so we could push it out of the way. It was horrible.
That's funny.
No brains in that tech support group.
But anyways, well, so you got it to cruise around, but that's pretty cool. Someone 7, welcome. So whatever possessed you? No, let's go there. Let's get back on these Gold Claw Gold Pans. How long have they been around? What possessed you to kind of start this pan of all things? You're a consultant in life, in your job, and you wake up one morning and say, "What? I think I need to do a gold pan." I mean, how did this all kind of come to be?
Well, I have to kind of go back on my earlier story to explain that. My dad's a geologist and I'm an engineer. When I go consult companies, I'm telling them how to solve their toughest problems. I'm using my engineering skills amongst other ones. And my dad, he's starting a gold mine. He's a geologist. He's got all these partners. He's down in Nevada and they're having trouble with their gold machines. And so I'm asking him, well, how do they work and what are you guys doing? And he's explaining it. And I'm just like, what? Why are you using that technique to separate your gold? I mean, they're using a sluice. The water runs down the sluice. It suspends the clays and removes them off of the top of the black sands and the gold. And I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense because if you're trying to separate gold with running water, which is what a pan does, right? When you're dipping it, the water rushing out is pulling the clay out of the pan. I'm like, when you do that, it's now surface tension, or not surface tension, but the pressure on the surface is what removes the material, and that's your volume, surface area to volume ratio is what kicks in. In other words, the weight of the object is part of it, which is how you keep gold by doing that. But the other part of it is the shape. So if you have a big flat piece, it's going to wash out. Or if you have a really teeny tiny one with a small volume, again, that's going to wash out with the sand that you're trying to wash out. So I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Why don't you just use the main property of gold, which is its specific gravity or its weight, and create a liquefaction. And if you can create liquefaction and let the gold just settle in, now it's not going to care whether it's big or small or flat or whatever. And not only that, the light materials aren't going to care either. Those can be big or small, because another problem is you have to classify the material to get the suspension technique to work right. So I'm like, everything works better if you do that. And he's like, listen, people have been separating gold this way since the time of the Egyptians. And that's what sparked my interest. And then a little bit later on in my life, I had access to that was when I was in college, is when that conversation happened. So a little later in life, I was in my engineering career, and I got access to a machine shop. So I built my first prototype, and it worked great. And then a little bit later, we were up in Alaska, and we were trying to turn this idea into an actual machine. And if everything begins and ends with what? With a pan, right? And so we're up in Alaska with this machine, and I'm trying to test the tailings. And I know what it takes to pan fast, but all the pans I have are classic round pans. I've got a super sluice pan, and I've got all these other pans. And the problem is I'm testing not just black sands, which we know is hard to pan. I'm testing the heavies. In other words, you run for a week, and the black sands get caught, but not any old black sands. The heaviest and the nastiest of all the black sands are stuck in that sluice. And here I am trying to pan those out to test my machine to see how it's doing. And it was just too painful. So I'm looking around for a good pan, and I know the concept. I know what I'm looking for, and I can't find it. And I bought at least 30 different pans. They're sitting around my house all over. I still have them. They make really good catch pans. But I realized if I'm going to be able to have a pan that I can pan fast with, I'm going to have to make it. So I made a prototype. I called a patent lawyer. I had the patent lawyer check, because I was convinced still that somebody had to have come up with this, because it's so obvious what needs to happen. And he confirmed that nobody had done this. And that's when I'm like, okay, I'm going to make this pan then. So I put a pause on my equipment build, and I said, this is great, because it's simpler. It's, a lot easier than a machine to get onto the market, so let's do it. And that's when the first one was made. I did a crowdfunding event, and a lot of you that are here on this channel even were part of that very first crowdfunding event. And that's how we got the first mold built, and that's how the whole thing started.
And it's been around ever since. I know that it's hard to, I guess, to explain that, the concept, like you talked about, panning in a round pan to having to pan in this pan there. But it's amazing the amount of people that, like, have even come out to camp, and they go get buckets of material, and they'll come to the camp, and they'll start to pan. And I look at them, and they've got a gold claw pan. And I'm like, where'd you get that pan at, And it's, a couple people I may have to try to help them a little bit, or from, I ain't no master at it, of course, but I've seen, but it's just amazing the amount of people that I really see out there with those type of pans. So I know you're doing something very well out there. Somebody posted, oh, Soup Freak says that he keeps winning them at shows.
I was just laughing about that. I'm like, really? That's crazy. I mean, you put hundreds of tickets in a barrel, and he keeps getting picked. I got to ask him what he's doing. How does he fold them? What's he doing? He probably buys 2,000 tickets.
Well, I saw you at the last Gold show. Oh, I just got blurry all of a sudden. Wow. Wonder why I just got blurry.
Autofocus.
I just did. I just got blurry. I hope, I don't have the best of cell phone service out here, but that's weird. I just got so blurry. I see myself blurry.
It looks like it had made an adjustment. Yeah, it might be that light behind you on the side there.
Wow, that's weird.
Yeah, I think it's trying to focus in on that light source.
Yeah, because that weird. It just all of a sudden got blurry on me. It was fine, and then it got blurry. Huh. But anyway, so Kevin Hoagland was shaking his head. Uh,
When? Oh, when he won again. I believe it.
I
Hey,
wonder
you
what
know what's funny? I just went to the North Carolina Gold Show, and I was sitting with my wife in the hotel just before the show. And who do you think I saw on TV? Kevin Hoagland. Couldn't believe it. He was down in some hole in the ground, some old abandoned mine, talking about death, a death trap, and basically people would grind up, I guess, ants and critters with venom in them and sprinkle them on the floor like dust, so that if anybody came into their mine later, they would breathe it in, and it was a death trap. And he had that wiped all over his hands. It was kind of funny.
I think what happened is I made myself go small, and when I came back for some reason, it screwed me up.
Hmm.
Uh, I don't think that it would. Let's see. No, it's not that. That is so weird. That is weird. I don't know
Yeah,
what
I
happened.
think
Uh,
I think your window somehow might be tricking it. You don't have a manual focus, do you?
I don't know how to do it. It's been pretty good. Uh,
Well, you asked. Yeah, I'm surprised that's not fixing it. You asked though. You asked something that's kind of true. You said it's probably hard to explain the difference, and it's kind of subtle, but it's simple, the difference, but it's kind of hard for people to really understand what's really going on. But if you know you can think of earthquakes and liquefaction, right? We know that things sink into the ground when the ground's shaken, and that's liquefaction. And really, all we're doing with the gold claw is instead of using the water to rush over the top and pull the clay and the light materials off, because then it has to suspend the material and then it matters the size, we get the whole bucket of gravel into a liquid state, into a state of liquefaction. So if you can get it to where you're in, when you're shaking it, and everything's moving around, anything can trade places now. And so anything with a higher specific gravity is just going to go down. So that's why even your super fine, we call it face powder in Alaska. We were getting 1,000 mesh gold that we were trapping easily. And that's pretty hard to do with any other system. I mean, face powder, you can't really even tell the individual pieces. It's so fine that all you see is this gold ring, and if you touch it, it's just like talcum powder. It's super fine, but you can catch all that type of gold now because it doesn't care about the size. But the other benefit to putting it in a state of liquefaction is that you no longer have to classify your material, because when the water rushes out, it cares about the size. If you have big rocks in with your gold pan or in your sluice or anything else, then the water won't be able to move those big rocks, and it'll even create eddy currents around those and wash everything behind the rock out. That's why you tend to find gold there, because everything else washes away. And so to make your system work, you're going to have to classify. You got to get everything the same size. And once you do that, now you can use the suspension method. And it also takes a long term to learn the feel of it. I mean, you can get pretty good at keeping your gold safe, even your flat and your fine gold, but it takes a long time, because it's not like something you can just tell somebody. It's something you have to experience over time. And you actually develop muscle memory in the motions that you use to use a round pan and use suspension technique. Hey, that looks better. I think you're focused.
hey, but you know what I did? I changed
What?
cameras on. I changed cameras.
Oh, that's
I
interesting.
This is, the other camera is the one that just sits above the camera. This is actually on the computer itself. So I unplugged the other one, and so hey, if this works, it works.
Well, good. We can see you now. Anyway, it's simple, but I've been rambling here for a couple minutes. It's still kind of hard to explain that through liquefaction, regardless of shape or size, light things will go up. Heavy things will go
Well,
down and push up and out the light stuff. It just seems
I'll
so
explain.
obvious to me. I don't know why they haven't invented something similar way before.
Okay, Wayne, welcome, Wayne. This is the best way I'm going to explain this pan to you. Why this pan is good. I can go along the river, and or the creek or whatever, and I can fill this pan with whatever, large rocks, little rocks. I can just shovel into this pan, fill it all the way, and I can pan in there all the way down till the gold. Now, when you have a normal gold pan, I don't have one here, but a round gold pan, if you fill the rocks with uh, a round gold pan, you do the same thing with. It takes more force to get rid of those larger rocks out of that pan. And when you do that, you're going to lose that finer gold because you have to have more force to get rid of the larger rocks. So therefore, the smaller stuff's going to follow with it. And that's why they say classification with those round pans. You really got to bring everything down to the consistency of gold. So you got to classify first. This you don't. You can just fill this up and work it out. Am I correct?
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. You take two rocks the same size. One's made of gold, one's made of whatever, basalt. They weigh different amounts, but they're the same shape. You run water against those two, and which one's going to move first? The lighter one. That's great. The problem isn't that. The problem is that gold is much smaller than most of those particles. It's much smaller, which means that the bigger particle has a lot more surface area. And you can reach the state where it takes the same amount of force to remove that particle of sand as it does that really fine piece of gold, because the gold is so much smaller. And if it takes the same amount of force and you are removing the sand, then guess what else you're removing? That very fine piece of gold, or something with a large surface area, like a very flat piece of gold. And that's the problem. And with experience, you can learn how to minimize that. It takes a long time to get there, but it's also a slow way to pan gold. To keep it all, you go really slow. I mean, with the gold claw, you can go super fast, and you can lose some gold, but you can slow it down and keep it all. And when you slow down with a gold claw, you're still faster than you are with anything else. So you can decide what you want to do. And you know what? You don't always want to keep all your gold, because let's say I'm out on a beach. There's a really famous one up in Washington, Disappointment Beach, where there's a lot of gold in the sand, but because that black sand and that gold are very similar for suspension, it's very hard to separate it. Even shaking it, because they're so similar behaving, it's hard to keep all your gold. But guess what I can do? I can go twice as fast and lose some of that gold. Let's say I lose 20% of the gold, but I'm going twice as fast. I'm going to end up with a lot more gold at the end of the day. So in that circumstance, I'm going to choose to lose some of my gold, because I'm going to get more by the time I'm done. Other times, I'm going to slow it down and keep it all. If I have a bucket at home, I brought home my heavies, from a weekend's work, and I'm just going to work my way through that. Well, that's all I've got is that one bucket. So why not take your time and get every little drop, every little speck of gold out of that, so you can slow it down just a little bit and keep it all. So there's strategy on when to let gold go and when to keep it all.
It's funny because you see some people, they'll use these little tables, where they're using paintbrushes, and they're trying to get every single little piece of gold they possibly can. And I think, guys, when it gets to that point, it's not worth it.
Well, if I'm home and I have a limited amount of ore, why not? But if I'm out in the field, what's limited is my time. And so I am going to run that system as fast as I can and keep that optimum amount of gold, where I can, at the end of the day, end up with more.
Well, yeah. Let's see, Charlie. I see Charlie's in there. He says, "Hello, everyone. Cool arrows." What's that? Breather boy. Jason, AU Colorado. Jason AU is a channel supporter. Look at that. He's in green. He's a unique. Yeah, I don't know if I like this camera here or not. You know, it's kind of making me uncomfortable.
I think it's fine. I think it's doing good.
You know, I am in my RV. You can tell I'm in my trailer,
Yeah,
traveling. So,
we're both traveling. So I see a comment here. It says the liquefaction seems more dependent on the technique. How does the gold claw pan force your technique? Well, that's what's kind of actually funny is that you there is some technique to it, okay? But even if you screw up the technique, you're just shaking it, you're still going to get it 80% right. That's why I'm watching these 4-year-olds and 6-year-olds that have no physical skill at all, trying it for the very first time, catching most of their gold because it's pretty hard to screw it up. But the one part of the technique that I try and show people is that the way you shake it does different things. If you shake big, broad strokes, does anybody have the round pan and the first 3 or 4 seconds they do these big, wild shaking strokes, right? That's what we do. Why? Because the big rocks float to the top with big strokes. So big, long strokes make big things float on top of small things. But when you do tight, aggressive, fast, but tight strokes, that makes heavy things sink down below lighter things. And so I'll always start for a few seconds with big strokes to get the big rocks to the top. But then once those big rocks are moving out, I'll switch to very short strokes because that makes my gold drop down inside my black sand so it can push up and out, strip off all my black sand. So that's really all the technique is learning how to just use those shorter strokes. But even if you're doing the bigger strokes, you're still going to catch dang near all of it. It's a pretty robust system. It's the design of the pan that does the work to capture all that gold for you. There's actually far less technique with a gold claw than there is in a round pan.
and I think, and we know that. I mean, I've done where I practice, where I've speed panned a normal pan and a gold claw, and to what you could keep the material. I think I used lead shots or something, and I lost them with the round pan, but I didn't lose them with the gold claw in speed panning.
Yeah, with the round pan, it's technique. With the gold claw, it's technology. The pan does 80% of the work for you.
Okay. You're reading comments. I see you reading.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of these comments. So here's one. Practice keeping the claw submerged, and it's easier to get. Yeah, once the material is underwater, there's a couple things that go right. So in case you didn't hear that, the material should stay under the water. And there's a couple things that happen. One, because your dirt is under the water, the whole pan's going to be lighter because it's buoyant. But that same buoyancy that makes everything lighter makes it easier to get it in that state of liquefaction. So if your pan is above the water and you're trying to shake it, all that material is going to sit solid. But as soon as you put it under the water, that buoyancy lifts it and the whole thing becomes loose. And that's what you need. It's going to be loose or mushy, where everything's going to be in motion or moving, and that's what you want. But you want to do it with those short strokes because the wide strokes have too much energy in there and it's going to create eddy currents. It's going to kick things around more. But even if you do the wider strokes, you're going to catch most of your gold. So short strokes, side to side, don't go in circles, keep it underwater, you're going to catch your gold.
And I know if you wasn't there and you'd be at your house, you'd be doing some demonstrations, showing us.
I've been doing those for several weekends in a row. We went down to Puyallup and did a 2 days straight of panning at the gold show, then Portland, then we went up to North Carolina, and next weekend I'm going to be in Ohio.
Well,
so I'm hoping there's somebody on here from Ohio or that area that can come out and say hi.
Stephen Peasley. Hello, Stephen. Yeah, so we were talking about doing some gold mining.
Oh man, tell me more about this mine because I think you've interested me enough. I'm going to have to come out there and check this thing out. Do you have pictures of anything that you've found there?
Uh, I've got pictures. I don't know how that would work on. Let me see if I can show. I did take a whole bunch of pictures. Let's see if I show background here. Well, see, now that's not going to work. There's background, but there's these big piles, and these big piles are all over the place. There's some of the gold I got metal detecting.
And this is all on that same site, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
so
that's
yes,
big chunky gold right there.
it is. And but here's the thing. Here's what's happening. So along this one ridge that I was metal detecting, what it is, it's not in any lode, it's not in any vein, it's in the caliche. And so sometimes what I have done is I've actually had to pick it out with a screwdriver and a hammer to chisel it out of the caliche layers.
That's
So
interesting.
what I have learned from this area, what apparently the old timers did, is they scraped all the overburden up to get down to the caliche layer. They worked everything from really on the caliche layers what they worked. So all these piles, they're massive piles there. I mean, there's some of them are 20 feet tall. They didn't work those piles. Those piles are still full of gold, though.
So they must have been high grading, where they piled up the low grade material and were focused in on the good stuff.
Right, just the caliche, and a lot of that area is all caliche. So there's all these washes, and even the ones that they didn't create, you still dig down a few, a foot or so, you hit the caliche. So the whole area is a caliche bed. So these mines, although they're on the books as a mine, they're actually placer mines. There's not hard rock. It's all just the push. But these push piles, there's a rumor that somebody found a 5 ounce nugget on top of one of these piles years ago.
I heard somebody mention that in some chat. Was it you? Maybe I can't remember.
I
That's a
think
big old nugget if that's true.
yeah, that was Bill Southern. He had a friend, I guess. They were out in that area years ago, and he found that 5 ounce nugget on top of these piles.
You
But
tell
these
him,
all
give me my
came.
nugget back.
Yeah. So I found 57 pieces of gold. I think it was 57 pieces. The biggest one was just over a gram and a half. Uh, all
So
metal detectors.
if I bring my son down, who's itching to find his own gold, what are the odds he'd be able to find something?
Metal detecting.
Metal detecting.
What kind of metal detectors he got?
Gold monster.
This is the funny thing. I knew a guy that was out here before me because I told him about this area. He went out there and he found close to 70 pieces of gold in the month's time he was out there. But this area is so full of hot rocks that gold monster doesn't shut up. So I was using the 6,000. I knew another guy that was a couple other people that were up there with 6,000s. One guy found over 30 pieces using the 6,000, and I'm
Hmm.
not sure what the other one found. He was in here. I saw him in there earlier, Mike Duffy.
That
He was up
monster's
there.
not going to work for him then.
But people are finding them with the monster. And what I was doing, I was using the monster, but after to locate. So if I located a target, then I would use the monster to help decipher what it was.
Oh yeah.
But the monster is still good, especially on the caliche.
Well, if there's that much gold in there, have you considered commercial mining that area?
Well, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking about putting in a plan of notice of intent or something, basically to reclaim all these piles. I'll just put it in as to reclaim them. Uh,
Well,
so the
well,
bond shouldn't
before
be
you
that high.
reclaim them, you might want to understand the geology of that area a little better and finish getting some of that gold and then reclaim them back, when you do your reclamation activities.
I mean, I was talking about just reclaiming the piles, putting them back into the washes, but running
Mhm.
them, of course, and then just moving them from one pile to another pile.
Well, you've got my interest. I mean, that's pretty big chunky gold, and when there's chunky, there's typically a lot of fine gold. So I've got to come down and check that area out with you.
You did. I
Bring
did
my
dry
bring my
wash.
son.
Yeah, I did dry wash a couple smaller piles, and I got some gold just in those piles that they had pushed up out of the smaller washes too. So, so there
Well, that's
is
pretty
gold.
exciting. It's pretty impressive
Okay.
what you're doing there.
Oh, Mike Duffy said he got 17 pieces of gold out of there, and he did. He got a like a. What was your biggest one, Mike? I think he got a three something grammer out of up in there too. That area. Oh, and then the neighbors that are out there, they talk about getting ounces. One wash
What?
had 2.5 ounce, one wash had a 3 ounce. So there's been
Huh?
some good gold come from up around there.
Yeah, that's hard to imagine that they're getting that big of nuggets in that area. How close
But
is it to that area that I came out and visited you on before?
that's we're probably talking maybe a 3 hour difference.
So you're up
This
north of
is
that.
Yeah, this is northern Arizona. It's actually south of Lake Mead, down by Meadview.
Well, that's closer to me. That's great. That'd be easier to get down there then.
It is closer to you. This is in the Lost Basin area. Uh, so yeah,
So
you
are
go
we going
through.
to do it? Should we go down and check it
I
out
want
together?
to. Absolutely, I want to. I'd love to put in a big mining and get something going here and do some mining of this area.
All right. I got to figure out when, but let's do it. Let's go
Okay,
scout that
let's
area
uh
out.
let's take a quick commercial break so I can pay a bill. Okay, Clint,
You got it.
and we'll be right back, folks.
ICMJ's Prospecting and Mining Journal is the only monthly gold prospecting magazine published in the United States and is the most comprehensive and respected magazine about gold prospecting on the market today. With readers in all 50 states, it features articles on detecting, high banking, dredging, small-scale operations, assaying, basic geology, how to read the land, regulations, and more. Our monthly Ask the Experts column is answered by true experts. It features answers to readers' questions on processing, detecting, geology, and any other questions you may have related to finding and recovering gold and other precious metals. The Mining Journal features the most extensive selection of equipment, mining properties, services, and more, and a classified section featuring over 20 times more new and used items than the nearest competitor. The Mining Journal has been in continuous publication since 1931. A full 12 issues is available for just $27.95, and discounts are available for 2- and 3-year subscriptions. And an online subscription gives you access to over 3,000 articles going back nearly 20 years. Our purpose is to teach you how to find more gold. ICMJ's Prospecting and Mining Journal is the tool you need to succeed. It's time to raise your gold prospecting knowledge to the next level with ICMJ's Prospecting and Mining Journal. Give us a call at 831-479-1500 or visit www.icmj.com. That's www.icmj.com.
All right, here we're back with the inventor of the Gold Claw, Clint Wasburn. So, looking on this here, people want to know the GPS. Mike Duffy, did you see that? Let's see, where I just saw that at. His biggest piece he found, 4.5 grams. That's a pretty good little piece.
Yeah, that's good.
Uh,
Hey, Thomas.
and,
I see you said hi out there.
David, this is, I tell you, everybody, where this is at. This is on a private mining claim. It's Gold Fever Prospecting Club. There There's Randy Horn. He's still up there. All right, Randy. Randy's up
Hey,
there in the
cool.
Meadview area. So that's where this claim is, and actually this mine is known as the Queen Tub Mine. So anybody can do the research and know this area in the Lost Basin area of the Queen Tub Mine. It's on all the topo maps. It's in the Arizona Placer Gold Deposit books. There's been a ton of gold taken out of this area. So
That's cool.
that's where it's at. Anybody wants to go up there, all you got to do is join the club. But for a limited time, because once we put in a plan of operation and start strip mining, then you'll have to. But this is 160 acres I have up there, so there's a lot of claiming up
That's
there.
pretty
So,
big, yeah.
yeah.
Well, I'm hoping I can bring my dad down so he can give us a geological perspective on what's going on there.
Yeah, this is easier to get to, so you don't have to walk up.
Yeah,
up
that's
those
real
steep
close to
hills.
where he's at. So I'm gonna have to
Yeah,
tell
where's
him
he?
more
St.
about it.
George? Where's he at?
He is just barely south of St. George. How far is St. George from where you're at up there?
Well, St. George. I mean, you go through St. George, and you're going to go down through Nevada, Henderson, that area, and then you're going to cut over that big bridge, whatever that, over the Colorado River. What's that big
The
dam you got to
dam right
cross
there?
over? Yeah, you cross over that. Is that Hoover Dam or whatever? You cross over that dam, and then you go up through Dolan Springs, and then into Meadview, and that's where this place is at.
How many hours driving is that
Oh, geez, from
from St. George?
I don't think it's that far at all. I'll tell you right now. I'm going to Google that. Uh, Saint 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 George, Saint George, Utah to Meadview, Arizona. Directions.
Well, you're finding that. I've got Jason AU Colorado here. He says he's only found flakes in Colorado. I've done a little bit of research in Colorado, and we took up some samples, and we found a place in Colorado we were quite interested in. But those Colorado regulatory people gave us the runaround. They wanted us to do all kinds of historical digs, and there were these old tailings piles that, if we weren't mining, they would say those miners left these junky piles, but because we're mining, they're saying, oh, those piles are protected, you can't go mining. Those are precious old piles of junk that the old miners left. And so we finally just gave up on mining in Colorado, went up to Alaska.
It says it's 3.5 hours.
That's completely doable. I'm gonna see if I can get my dad to come down with us.
Yeah, give me a. I'm on vacation traveling. I don't have to be back until mid-July sometime. So hook up and maybe, but sometime from now till then, I'll be back down in that area after
July
next
sounds
week.
really hot to me, which is fine with me. But I'm thinking if I'm going to get my dad down.
Well, within the next few weeks or something, we can plan something like that.
All right, I'll have to talk to my dad and see how he's doing. See if we can get him down. Yeah, that's exciting. I want to go do that.
I think there's a lot of gold there. I've got a backhoe, and plus I have a friend up there that has a backhoe too. That he could just bring his backhoe over, so it'd be easy to do. Just build the large, maybe like a puffer style dry washer. Reason I say puffers because you don't have to use gas, and gas costs money to run. So if you use like a large puffer style dry washer, like a 4 or 5 banker dry washer that you can just shovel into with the backhoe and just go through those piles, you could just choose some material. I'm sure we could get a few ounces of gold out of there.
I'd be curious how my machine does dry panning, in a dry scenario. I would, when I come down, I'll bring my small machine this time. It's a barrel separator, so we can fill it full of water and actually do some water separating while we're there.
Okay. That's the downfall of this whole area is lack of water. all the homes around the area. There's a lot of nice houses, but everybody has to haul water up in that area. There's no
Hmm.
to dig a well. You're talking many thousands of dollars. Now in town, the city water, but this is outskirts of town. So
Can you go find a river somewhere and pump out of it, fill a tank, and take it up?
no, no, but it's
No.
cheap to get water. I mean, it doesn't cost, but still, whenever that's why there's so much gold left in the deserts because of the lack of the water.
Yeah.
So
Well,
dry washers.
I know if I designed it right, this would be a great dry system. But I've been focused on wet systems because I like Alaska so much. They have plenty of water up there. The only problem with Alaska is it's such a short season.
And that's why there's so much gold in Alaska because you can only mine that like 4 or 5 months out of the year too.
Well, there are 2 gold shows left, so I'm hoping to meet some of the people. Is there anybody here in this audience who's going to either be in Ohio or where's the one in California? Oh, shoot, I want to say Concord. Is that right? I'm gonna
I don't
Google
know. You'll have to you'll have to Google that one.
it. So we're going to be in Ohio, and then it's Columbus, Ohio, Pomona, California. Is there anybody who's going to be at any of those 2? I wonder, because it'd be great if you could come out and say hi.
Thomas Folk says he'll be in Ohio.
Ohio, that's great. You'll have to stop by and say hi to me. Put a
Thomas
name to
gets
this
all the
face,
gold
a
pans.
face to this name.
Yeah, Thomas gets all the gold pans. Yes, Lake Mead is at a record low. All the water table up in all that area is going down. But so all the people that live in the town, I mean, I don't know what I heard. Like you can fill up for like $45 or something. You can fill up gigantic tanks of water.
Yeah, that's
But
not bad.
so
So that's the way to go.
when in Ohio, Steven says.
Well, not this weekend, but the one after.
And Soup Freak says he'll be. Let's see. Yes, I'll be at
So that'll be the 14th and
Pomona,
15th.
the
Pomona,
Pomona
yeah.
show.
Oh, good. Okay, I've got. Oh, Soup Freak. Oh no, he's gonna win another.
Thomas says
I hope he
he's met
does.
you several times. I'm sure Thomas has met you several times.
Oh yeah.
He only goes to a lot of the gold shows.
Okay, well, he'll have to remind me who he is then. Yeah, I know that name really well. I'm just trying to remember the face that goes with it.
He wins a lot of your gold pans when you give them away too on the show. He has done that. Going for number 5. All right. Yeah, I didn't make the gold shows this circuit. I didn't, so I couldn't get in on none of the gold panning contest.
Well, I stopped after I won that one because they told me they banned me, but I figure, I guess it's a quit while you're ahead, right?
Yeah. Even the one out here in Arizona this year that they had, I took second, and I screwed
What?
up. I should have. Yeah, I screwed up. I should have had first, but I hesitated, and I knew I did that. But anyway, so yeah, I took second.
Did you? Can't you like throw them another $5 and try again?
No, not on those
You
ones.
get-
No,
You get one shot, huh?
you get one shot, and they use the metal gold pans. They use metal, steel gold pans. So
Oh yeah,
there ain't no
that's what I
ripples.
grew up on is a steel pan.
Yeah, both
When I
are.
was a kid, my dad had a steel pan and big old steel pan. It was great. That's what I learned on.
Yeah. So you're gonna be back home when? Next week?
I
Friday.
I fly home tomorrow. I'll be home tomorrow late. So then Friday, I should run down and meet you and give you some giveaways.
Yeah, I'll be there Friday. Bad thing is I'm pulling because I didn't want to pull my larger trailer because just again of gas prices. So I took this antique trailer I got. It's an older one. It's not as big, but like the jacks don't work right on it. So, you know, I don't even want to disconnect. I just, when I go to places, that's why if I go to a campground, I say, hey, I got to have a pull through because I'm not disconnecting, you know, I'm not unhooking to get those jacks down to, so I'll be in my parents' place. They're on West Jordan. I stay next door to their property inside of a church. There's a church they're right next door to a church, so I stay right in the church's parking lot. They've never seemed to mind.
Yeah, I'm glad you have a place to stay.
So yeah, I'll go. You know, I got to go visit Mom for Mother's Day. You know.
Oh man, I'm glad you said that. Does anybody have something for Mother's Day? I got to go get something.
Why don't we do a gold claw gold plant with a pot with a flower in it, and you give that to your mom, and then when the flower is finally gone, you say, "Mom, don't throw the flower away. I'll take care of it for you," and you take the plant and throw the flower away, and then you got the plant.
You're going to get me in so much trouble. Oh man.
Thomas says Thomas, you're a funny dude. His skin's a little darker than most. Yeah, you'll recognize Thomas. Thomas, you are funny.
Is he that YouTuber that I've met a million times? If that's who I'm thinking of, he's awesome. I know who Thomas is.
Yeah, I know you don't. He goes to all the shows and
yeah, I know exactly who he is.
If you come through Denver, we can help you fix those jacks. I'd love to come up through Denver. My son lives north of Denver, up there someplace. I don't know, forget the little town he lives in too. But I'm telling you, the price of gas has cut my trip. So I can't believe when I left through Meadview, that area up there, the two gas stations up there, gas was $5.99 a gallon. We're talking diesel.
What? Ew.
Diesel.
Yeah. That stretch in right there, southern Utah. Oh man, price of gas is awful through there.
Yeah, I filled up in where did I fill up in? Someplace after St. George, I think I filled up. Maverick stations are generally pretty good, and I think it was like $5.29 or something for diesel. But you know, and you're limited with pulling a trailer how you can get into places. So,
David Reed says, "Buy ammo for Mother's Day." Is that like buying a bowling ball? I definitely would like some ammo. Do I dare say this on YouTube? I might have a few ghost guns.
Oh, you can say whatever you want on YouTube. You're gonna need them. all them
Get
ghost
you
guns
banned?
and nah, all that stuff you're gonna need. But hey, what's going on? This is what I want to find out. Let's go over the current market prices, shall we? Run them down right now. Current market prices right now. The markets are still open. Doesn't tell me. Oh, they close them 20 hours, so it's 24-hour market. So gold. Okay, so gold finally got back up to $1,900. Silver's at 23. Platinum's at 1,008, and rhodium's at 17,750. Rhodium's dropped $250. Everything. So gold was just virgin on the 2,000 mark, and then it dropped all the way down to like 18, 29 or something. So what the hell is happening with gold?
18 is still high though. It's way up there.
But they were predicting, high prices, and for it to be where it's at, that's not too good.
Was it the people selling you gold that was predicting high prices?
Well, no, like on the markets when you talk about, isn't that funny when you go, this has always been funny to me. When you go buy gold, they say, oh, well, that's a premium. That's hard to come by. It's, if you spot, some people sell it for spot. Some people say, oh, 20% over spot. But then when you sell the gold, they tell you, oh, well, that's not real gold. So I can't give you, I can only give you like 75%
80%.
or 80%
Yeah.
because so it works both ways when they're buying and selling.
Yep. Absolutely. And they turn right around and sell that same gold for that hard commodity, hard to come by. That's
Oh,
how
so
they
see,
make their
gold just
cut.
dropped again. I just said it was 1900. Now it's 1897. Gold fluctuates so much,
Yeah.
but for it to take the dives that it has taken, has really got. I mean,
I'm surprised you're calling that a dive. That's still really high.
but when it dropped over $1,000 from 1900 something to 1800 something,
That
or
sounds like $100 to me.
well, 100, 1850 to 1950, yeah, $100. That's huge. That's a big dive. When it's when we're looking at it saying 2000, 2000, yeah, come on, 2000. Then all of a sudden, whoa, it's like what the hell? Now, if you're buying it, it's a buyer's market right now. Gold is a buyer's market.
Yeah. It's at 2000, the highest it's ever been, and you're calling that a buyer's market?
No, the highest I think gold's ever been is what, closer to $2,400, I think,
Is that
wasn't it?
recent? That must have been recent.
No, that was several years ago when it hit that high.
Yeah, I would call that recent. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's lately. Man, it wasn't
Well,
that long ago. It was $300 an ounce.
300
Back
an ounce.
back when I was in college, yeah, we were talking more like $300 gold, and then it
Well,
just went up.
well, that's true. I mean, I remember prospecting with a buddy, and he bought a bunch of gold, and I think he paid like around $350 for it, and
Hmm.
and that's back when Outdoor Channel was launching, and Outdoor Channel was $25 a share, and he bought like, 100 shares, and I said, "What are you freaking crazy?" And then he calls me later and says, "Have you seen the prices of that?" And, we used to laugh about gold, and I remember selling somebody $20 gold coins I had for $450, and yeah, but what
What
is
is
Gold
a
Claw for?
what is a gold cloth for? You
Oh, I
missed the
break
first
for
half of the
bedrock.
show,
Welcome.
didn't you? Or you're messing around. Um, Gold claw is the new way to pan gold. It is definitely the best way to pan gold.
Oh, he's
It
got to
is.
be messing around.
I'm
Breaking for
sure he is,
bedrocks.
but there may be somebody
He,
out there that is just joining.
um,
Gold claw is just a different way of doing it. It separates gold from dirt using displacement through liquefaction rather than suspension through washing. And because of that, it doesn't matter what size the gold is or what size the rocks are. They just separate from each other.
no, I break for bedrock. He's been around a long time. He knows what a gold claw gold pan is. Maybe he's talking about what the number four is. You've got three of them. What's the number four?
Oh, what is a gold cloth for? That could be what he's asking. Hmm.
Rocky Mountain Adventures. I've seen that pan in action and will not use it. I'll stick to a normal. Okay, Rocky Mountain. You've got to check that out. Uh, let's see. Where did I see
Is it
another?
that original guy that was sloshing it super wide? What did I say at the beginning? Wide motions don't
Yeah,
work.
some people.
Short, tight ones do. Yeah, he was doing super sloshy wide motion. Probably that guy.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about too.
Yeah.
Cool arrows. Welcome. Hello, Daniel. Yes, if you don't use them right, I mean, it's there's so many gold pans out there, and this is what I mean. There's a ton of gold pans. So I saw somebody post a gold pan earlier that they like to use, and some of those gold pans that they say that somebody like posted earlier. Yeah, you pan in that pan and you go back and forth with it. But when it's all said and done, you have to put it on another pan, pull the plug, and then pan in another pan. So to
Yeah.
me, that don't make any sense. A regular gold pan, like we've talked about earlier, a regular gold pan, you have to classify it all the way down, because if you don't, you're going to lose gold out of it. I guarantee you, you will, because of the amount of force you got to take to get rid of those larger pieces of rocks out of your pan. And when you got to bump those larger pieces of rocks out of that pan, well, you're going to lose gold. But with that gold claw, you don't have to, because you can pan everything all the way down.
Yeah. You know, when we first launched this, we had so much pushback. People that were round, I don't know what to call them, round panners, traditional panners. And I would expect that, you know, as we first launched, because there are so many new pans coming onto the market that really aren't that much different from the other pans, a little bit different shape. But this one truly uses a different technique for separating. And since you know, at the beginning we got a lot of that, and since then that we've had a lot of time go by where people have given it a real chance and have tried it out, and the response has just been tremendous. You know, every time we go to a show, we're just inundated with people that say, "Yeah, I've got these. I'm coming back for more." And there's no way I'd go back to a round pan, and I use my round pan now as a catch pan, and that's because it really works. And as long as you use it right, and it's not hard to use it right, you just got to try it. Do your short shaking motions side to side, keep it underwater, and it's going to catch the gold.
You know, there's a lot of different, you know, I mean, you got so many different pieces of prospecting equipment out there, so many different dry washers, so many different dredges, so many different high bankers, so many different gold pans.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people have several of many. I have lots of different dry washers. I have lots of different high bankers. I have lots of different gold pans. They seem to all serve a purpose. Like I said, when I went inside the superstitions, I carried a pan like this in my backpack. It was easy to. It's This is the one actually I got out today for knowing the show, that's underneath the back seat of my truck. That's always there. It's lightweight. Uh, these were in the trailer that I had to pull out. So you know,
Yeah, and I've never been that guy to say round pan bad, gold claw good. You know, I think every pan has a place where it's going to do better. And the reason why these different pans exist are because somebody found something that that pan did for them. So I encourage people to just learn all the different technologies and find the things that work for them. But
and try all the pans.
people that, yeah, I mean, there's a place for. I, I mean, I mostly use my round pans as catch pans, but I love them as catch pans. You know what I mean? But you know, if you do actually try gold claw, not once or twice, because if you pan a lot, you're going to have muscle memory, and it's going to feel strange, and it's not going to make sense. You're going to go in swirls, which kicks the gold at you. You got to shake side to side. You know, if you do that, that's what's so funny about beginners, is they don't have that muscle memory. They just immediately shake it right. They shake it side to side, and they actually have really good experience. But those experienced people that take the time to stop the muscle memory, stop going in circles, they eventually realize as well that this is a pretty cool technology, and a lot of people can't go back. I know I can't go back. I don't have the patience to even though it's only, I can pan fast. You know, I'm a 3 to 5 minute pan guy on a big gold pan, but you know, it's hard to beat 30 seconds.
No, and you can chew through the material. Like I say, there's definitely a on a normal gold pan. And I should do a video how you can lose gold on a normal gold pan and how you don't lose them on that, just because of the larger rocks and having to flip them large rocks out of a pan, where these ones you don't. So, but truth, it is a pan. You pick it up, and if you don't know how to use it, it can be what yeah, I don't know what the word I'm thinking of. It can be confusing. It can be where you just don't want to do it because you just feel more comfortable with that rounder pan.
Yep.
But if you use this pan, you will learn to light that pan. Practice for a bit and give it time. It's a different movement altogether. Let it work for you. It's hard to round pan after you use it a bit. I like it better. True, like a round pan, when they say a round pan, and it's a round pan, and depending if you pan left or right, your gold actually does not go to the bottom of that pan. It actually goes either to the left or to the right, depending on how you pan. It actually does not go right to the middle center of that. It doesn't. So when you swirl back and see your black, your gold, it's over to the right or over to the left. It's really not dead center. So the way these pans are designed, when you're swirling, there's this flat piece right here, and that's where that gold seems to appear, is in these flat pieces right here.
Yep.
And these are so aggressive riffles that you really can chew through that material. You really can.
Yep, that's right.
I wouldn't josh you guys.
Yeah, well, that's why I created this pan, is because I've panned my whole life, and when I was starting to figure out how to make this displacement work and was doing it in a machine, it was just really frustrating that pans don't work that way. And so now that it's probably a little easier for me because I understand the physics, the principles that are going on inside the pan, and it's probably why it's so frustrating to go back to the round pan. But it's just if you don't know anything about it and you just shake it, it's going to work. But when you do take the time to really get to know it and get that new muscle memory based on how this new system works, that's when you just can't go back. I mean, it's just faster. It's more reliable. It's a new way to pan.
And it is, and like I said, there's so many different gold pans out on the market. Some of them are really hokey, some of them are just gimmicks, some of them are been around and they easy come, easy go. Some of them's been around for a long time. Some,
I've never found a pan that didn't work. Every pan I've ever used works.
Well, yeah, once.
Well, they all work. But what blows my mind is they all use washing, all of them. There are some concentrators that don't. I've seen a few concentrators that get away from washing, but I haven't seen any pans that do it.
Terry says people hate change. It's like the transition from a steel pan to a plastic pan, using the gold claw to round pan.
Well, and I'm not going to force people to change either. If they love what they do, that's good. Fine. What I love is going through a 5-gallon bucket in 40 seconds. That's awesome.
And it is, and so people can just give them a try. It's a pan that's out on the market. A lot of different prospectors have these pans. There's a banjo, like somebody mentioned, the banjo pan out there. That's Mike Punk's. They like that pan. It works. It's a different pan. Gold Claw's out there. That's a different pan. But all those pans basically use, as you're talking about, the difference of, okay, explain that all again, the difference of fluid motions and all that from a round to a.
They use the water to move the light material. That's what they all do in one way or another. And that's what you got to get away from to catch that super fine, that super flat. But the beauty of it, what I didn't expect to happen is it also speeds it up. Because with dipping, you swirl it, you dip it. And some people actually are side-to-side shakers in dipping, and that's better. But you swirl and dip, and that's multiple cycles. And it's just one smooth cycle of shake and tilt, and so you can go through it so quickly. So that's one of the advantages. And let's do a little thought experiment. Let's talk about that big one for a second. If you're going to go work a river for a while,
this,
that one, the big one, Okay, the big one with the handles on it. That one will hold about 3 gallons of river rock, mounded up. And so if you're going to go up a river and spend some time up there and take your typical river sluice, because you can put it in your backpack and get up there, well, you got to hike that thing up there. And a bigger sized one is, pretty hard to carry up. Then you got to set it up. So that's going to take some time. And then you're going to run your material. Okay. And then when you're done running it, you got to clean it up. And that's kind of painful. I mean, I always hated the cleanup part because, you got to be so meticulous, don't want to lose your gold. Once you're done with the clean out, now you have to tear down, and then you have to haul that thing all the way back down to the car. There's a lot of work that goes into just the transportation, the setup, the cleanup, and the tear down of that sluice. Well, let's just let's forget about the tear down and setup and clean out. Let's just talk about running it. Most river sluices you need to classify it before you put it in that river sluice, unless you bring up a high bank or something with a wash plant in it that has a built-in classifying system in it. So how long does it take you to classify a 5-gallon bucket? So let's say you go dig, you fill a bunch of buckets, now you're going to go run them through your sluice. It takes time to classify the bucket, and then once you've classified it, now you can finally run it through your sluice, right? In the time it takes you to classify it, you can already have ran all that material with one of these big gold claw pans. There's nothing to set up. You carry it up with you. It fits in a 5-gallon bucket if you want to bring one with you. There's no setup. You get there, you fill it up. You can go through that, like I showed on my video, you can go through a 5-gallon bucket in under a minute. Less time by far than it takes you to classify it. And once you've run it through, it's done. You've already ran it. You've already got your gold. There's no cleanup and there's no tear down. So that's why quite a while ago, we announced we have a new product coming out that actually could replace a sluice, because it really can. It can replace a small river sluice. Now, if you get to a large, 4-foot wide, something that'll run 25 yards an hour, it won't replace that, obviously. But it definitely is a more economical and easier system to go up and explore a new area than actually bring in a river sluice.
So welcome AH. It's awesome. You got the man behind the gold claw. Fascinating conversation too. We got the man behind the gold claw. Well, Clint, what's not only is it a this is something. I want to call this your baby. This is something you've invented, something you stand behind, something that you use. You're very passionate about it. I see you at the gold shows. I've seen you at the gold shows. You talk to people. You give these pans away. You support different organizations. This one, for instance, these purple gold pans. I'll let you talk about all of them. But you're passionate about it, and you give, like I say, you give them away to people. You're just like, you're just,
I'm
you're the man.
happy to do all that. I'm happy to do that. I mean, one of the things we do is, so Ken Snyder, he helped me get on my feet. I'm very grateful to him and thankful for him giving me some really good ideas. One of the ideas he gave me was to go to the gold shows in the first place. I would never have gone. He said, you got to go. And he got me out there, and that's really what got the first exposure to it. And so I owe that to him, that he opened my vision to even consider going to the gold show. And so that's, some pretty serious people got looking at it, those shows, and they started out skeptical like anybody would, but by the time they got out and used it and tried it, they realized that this pan is the real thing. It's the real deal. But he's also a veteran, and he got me some heightened awareness to some of our veterans who suffer. And so he said, hey, Clint, just as a cool idea, what if we gave $1 to the Purple Heart Foundation every time we sold a purple gold claw. And so that's what we do. That was a great idea he had. And so every time we sell a purple gold claw, whether it's a pocket pan or the big one, doesn't matter. Or if you buy a kit with 3 pans in it, that's $1 for each one. We donate that dollar to the Purple Heart Foundation to help some of those veterans out. And what he does, he's also known as the American Prospector. He invites veterans to go out and pan gold because he realized that when he was out in nature panning gold, that a lot of his PTSD would work out of his system. And so he brings other veterans out with him, and they help relieve that PTSD they struggle with out there mining gold. And of course, it's addictive and fun anyway, so it's a good habit that's easy to keep doing. And so he gave me some great ways to help some of our veterans, and that's why I like this shirt too, is because it's my thank you to those veterans. But we definitely do like to give away pans as well, because it gives people a chance to just try them out and spread the word that they got one and go try it. And some people, even when they get them, they go out and make videos, and that's always good. So I think we should give some gold claws away. What do you think?
Yeah,
thank you for your service, and all of the other veterans on here.
No, that's cool. I wanted to ask you how he's doing. Do you still stay in touch with him, and how's he doing?
Yeah. So what Jack's referring to is Kent Snyder would come to the shows with me, and he kept cheerleading me and keeping me going, and I really am grateful to him for that. But at the last show he came to me with down in Vegas, he got really sick. He actually spent 3 weeks in Vegas at the hospital, couldn't even make it home. It was awful. And and right about there, he ended up just staying home. But he is doing much better right now. He was able to recover from that. It was the darndest thing what happened to him. It was a mystery that it took him a while to figure it out. But he is doing quite a bit better right. He's doing good right now.
But when I first met you guys were wearing black shirts, and I wanted one of those black shirts.
Did it just a straight up black shirt?
Well, no, didn't they? They were black shirts, but they said something on them or something, didn't they?
I vaguely recall the black shirts now that you mention it. Did it say Gold Claw or something on it? I can't quite remember.
I thought it did. But I thought they were cool.
I think they did. Yeah, now that you mention it. Yeah, he that was his idea too, to make some shirts and wear them to the shows. Yeah.
So
yeah,
what color?
What's that?
Oh no, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying that it was his idea to make shirts and stuff.
Well, if you talk to him, tell him I said hi. I still remember him. So.
Absolutely.
We went out to dinner with you two.
Yeah. Yeah, he's good people.
What colors are the Gold Claws available in?
So we have multiple colors. We have the blue, and most people prefer the blue because the blue actually shows the gold the best for most people. Now, there are a few people out there who see it better in black, and those people know who they are, so we do have black as well. We have purple, and that was our friend Dennis Dayton's idea. Do you remember Dennis Dayton and all his banter with the purple pans?
No.
So before we gave away the dollar to the veterans, the purple pan showed up as Dennis Dayton saying that you got to try purple. It's great. You can see the gold really well, but it also highlights the black sand. And so we do have those purple ones. We have a clear one, transparent as well. I think my favorite is the blue, but right on its heels to me is the transparent one, because it's more immersive when you're. So hold that up one more time. You notice it's a little cloudy, but the second you put that in the water, it just turns back to transparent. And the other nice thing about the transparent one is that the light that comes up through it will highlight the garnets and other gems that if you're into catching gems. And gold cloud's really good at catching gems because gems are heavier than most other rocks.
Still got
So that's it. So we got the black, the clear, the purple, the blue, and there's also something we call rich green. It's a dark green. So you have that classic gold plan green. Well, we darkened it up just a little bit so you can actually see the gold a little bit better. So we call that the rich green. So that one's more for people who really want green. It's more traditional, but we made it so you can see the gold just a little bit better.
Yeah, I think my favorite's blue. I like blue. I like all blue pants. I just like, and you got a cool color blue. I just like blue. All my pants
that
here.
blue works out really good.
Yeah, I like blue.
The blue really shows the gold well. It's just a fun, bright color. You can't really lose it because it stands out. And probably 80 to 90% of the people go with blue, that blue color.
Well, they're
it's
pretty
a really good
too.
choice.
It's a pretty blue. It's a pretty blue.
All right, let's give something away.
Okay,
What do
you've
you think?
talked about that. I'll let you run with that. Ever what you think? Maybe
Okay,
some
here's what
questions.
we'll do. Let's give away one of the big ones. Okay.
That gigantic one.
Yep. And let's also give away a combo set. So that's going to be a regular size with a pocket pan, and that also comes with some pay dirt, some gold in it. So it's going to be the 2 small pans and a gold kit. That'll be one giveaway, and the other one will be the big pan. Let's do those
So
two.
two different
Yep.
giveaways. Okay.
So I know how you can give things away on your show, so I'm going to let you give us the rules. But once you have a winner, if you can collect their shipping address, I will ship it to them. Does that sound good?
Okay, so it has to be the first one with the correct answer in the chat room, and then that winner. Do they have to be in the lower 48 or anything like that?
Nope, I'll ship it anywhere.
Okay. Okay, so that's the first correct answer in the chat room for what do you want to do first? So the big one first or the kit first?
Let's do the kit first.
Okay, the kit first. Let me get
You're welcome, Don.
some notes here. First correct answer will win the kit first. Okay, do you know what you want to? And then just make sure that you PM me or email me goldfeverradio@yahoo.com your shipping information. Okay, do you know what question you want to
Okay,
answer?
this is going to be a blue set. Both of these will be blue.
Okay.
Actually, you can choose your color. I'm okay with that. I'm going to recommend blue, but you can tell us if you'd prefer a different color.
You got a question you want to ask?
Oh, me? Oh, man. Let's see. Who remembers where my dad was mining? What state was my dad mining in when he came to me with his first big gold catching problem? What state was he mining out of? First one to answer.
Okay, and you can see the chat room too, so people are flying them in there. Okay, we got Nevada.
Oh my
John
gosh,
McAfee.
that was too
Welcome.
easy. That was too easy.
I thought that was too easy too. John McAfee popped in out of nowhere.
All right, so we have a Utah and a Nevada, but the right answer is Nevada. Nevada is where he was at. So that's some good listening. I'm impressed.
So John McAfee, he's back someplace towards your neck of the woods where you are right now.
Okay, great. So John, if you could private message your shipping address to Gold Fever Radio, he will pass that on to me, and I can get that to you. And if you include your email, then you can get the tracking information that goes with it.
All right, congratulations, John. John popped out of the middle of nowhere. Didn't even know he was in the chat room. He was listening on the slide. All right,
okay.
Congratulations, John. Okay.
All right. So hold that big. Let's. Do you have a question, or shall I come up with another? Mine are too easy.
For this
Okay.
big
Here's
pan.
my question for the big pan. Okay. This is going to be. I didn't say it on the show, but approximately how many inches across is that big pan? First one to guess.
I remember seeing your
Somebody's going to
prototype.
run to their big pan, aren't they, and go measure it.
Yeah, I
They'll hurry
remember
guess before they have time to go measure.
when you first did it, you had to glue two pans together when you made the
That's
thing out.
yeah. We couldn't even print it.
We got 18, we got 24, we got 20, we got 31. We got
Wow.
20.
Can you imagine 31 inches? Holy moly. We already have a winner, but I'm just letting a few answers come in to see what people are thinking.
Okay, you see the winner there. Okay,
I do see the winner.
Okay, I was going to
I
grab
know,
a
but I'm
tape
letting
measure.
others win. Thank you, Don. That's nice of you.
I was going to grab a tape
I
measure.
want to hear Don's answer. Don, what do you
Oh,
think the answer is? I'm curious.
oh no, there's Karen. Now Karen is the other half of John. She's in the other room. That's funny. Those two both listen to the show in different rooms.
So,
Uh,
Don, what is your answer? And then I'll give the real answer and tell you who the winner was. Oh, we got an 18 from Wayne. The real answer is 18. It's very close to 18 inches across.
see, and that's
And
what I
so
wrote down.
believe it or not, the very first answer out there was 18. And I'm wondering does he have one? How did you know? I gotta know. How did you know 18?
Was that Cool
Well,
Arrows?
Cool Arrows Goldology won the big one.
18. And and a few other people said 18. AH said
Yeah,
18.
yeah, quite a few people know. I'm impressed how many people know. And the
18.
reason why it's 18 is because if you put a circle around this pan, the tip to tip is 19. And that's so that it can, if somebody wants to take it into the unconventional pan competition, it'll qualify. They can do it.
Okay. So that was Cool Arrows.
I have 3. Oh my. Now 4, or had 2, now 3. Oh my goodness.
Okay.
See, I'm terrible at questions. You're gonna. So I want to give one more thing away later in the show. It's going to be a little different, a little special. So when you're ready to give it away, let me know. But I'll let you come up with the question because my questions are too easy.
Oh, I compared the pan he was holding up to his chest. you know, I can remember
Compare
I was
the
going to
pan he's
grab
held up to his chest and guess.
because I would have guessed bigger than 18 inches. I was reaching for the tape measure to find a tape measure to do that with.
That's
So
pretty.
that's
That's pretty good estimation right there. All
uh,
right. I'm curious to see somebody use it in the non-conventional competition. See how they do.
so maybe we ought to have people. You do a real competition where you say, have everybody that has a gold claw pan, no matter which size, make a short little video of panning with it and post it to the Gold Fever Radio or Gold Fever Adventures website. And we pick a winner of all those people panning and posting that.
I like that a lot. You know what? Let's do that. And here's what I'm going to give the winner of that. Okay, I have a few rare, what we call swirl pans. They're one of a kind, really cool looking pans. When we transition from one color to another, they swirl the colors together and they look pretty cool. And there's a very small amount of those on the planet. So if you win one of those, it's kind of a big deal. So what I'll do is I'll give away one of those swirl pans to the winner of that contest. And Jack, you can choose the winner.
Okay, so Krillos, how do I PM you? I also need a new hat, Jack. So you already have my shipping address. Okay, all you got to do is just PM me private message or goldfeverradio@yahoo.com. But send it to me again just so I have it for my notes as I'm traveling here on the road and all that type of stuff there. So for that competition, what just said, only you guys that can listen. Of course, I guess other people listen outside once the show's over with. It'll air for the week. So let's give it a week on there. It'll end next Wednesday. We will pick a winner next Wednesday. So we'll announce it, the winner, next Wednesday's show. So to win that, what Clint was just saying, that swirl colored, of what size?
Yeah, let's have a vote. What size do you guys want? The big one? Would you rather see the middle sized or a pocket pan? I'm betting the big one.
The gigantic one. So you got the big one, the middle one, and the little one. So, and all you got to do is do a video, a quick little video, just a couple moment video, couple second video of using the pan, posting it on the Gold Fever Adventures website. I mean, the Gold Fever Adventures Facebook page, Gold Fever Adventures Facebook page. And out of those ones, we'll pick a winner, and you'll win that. And we'll announce that next Wednesday's show.
All right, and we'll do a big one. Yep, I'm getting some responses back. Big one. So we'll do a swirled big one, and the winner will get that. Now the two winners we just had, if you don't include a color, I'm going to make it blue. Okay. So if you want something besides blue, when you send the address, make sure you specify that.
Okay. Oh no, Thomas, cool. You can stay. You can get in that one. You've got plenty of pans. Get in it, Thomas. It's open to everybody. So, okay, so that'll be announced then. Okay. Clear. Oh, Cool Arrows wanted clear. Okay, let's see. That's this one right here. Clear. CLEAR.
Cool.
And blue. John wanted blue. Okay. All right, I know I've got you guys, as I'm sure, your addresses, shipping addresses, but just go ahead and PM me or goldfeverradio@yahoo.com, just so I have them current for the records and all that type of stuff, if you would. Clint, can you do a hydro dip camo?
Yes, I could. I know how to hydro dip. My son is a 3D modeling expert and a hydro dipper. So why do you ask?
I guess it'd be cool. Just the outside would be cool.
Yeah, you know what? That'd be kind of cool, wouldn't it, to put some kind of a hydro dip on one of these contest ones. Yeah, I do know how to do that. I tell my son to do it, and it's done.
You said you want me, so I don't know what you were going to do. This last one we'll do, but you want me to do something, make a question?
Yeah, so let's give away another combo. Okay.
Okay. So this you want me to come up with the question. So
yeah, I'm going to give a combo, which is the medium size and the small, and I'll let the medium-sized one be a swirl pan.
Okay. So you got to keep an eye out in the chat room. The first one with the correct answer in the chat room. There are 3 different size Gold Claw gold pans. What are their names?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. I think they'll get the small and the big one, but will people get the middle-sized one?
Okay.
And we won't accept original as an answer.
No. Okay. Well, you'll be the judge of that there when they come through. There are 3 sizes. What are all 3 gold pans called? The names of all 3. You must have all 3 correct.
That's a really hard question. I know somebody knows that answer.
Oh, I know somebody knows it, but it would be.
I'll be impressed if they can get the original, the correct name for it.
Pocket, Prospector, and Production.
How in the heck did he know that?
That's Thomas.
Wow, I am so impressed. That was going to be a hard question.
Congratulations. Well,
Production,
Thomas,
standard, and pocket. Ultra Chungus.
So,
Sport
is he
model.
the winner? Are you giving that?
Sneak attack. AH. Oh my gosh, those are good answers.
So, you giving it to Thomas, Pocket Prospector Production?
He nailed it. I cannot believe it. I thought that was going to be the impossible to get, and he immediately got it.
Thomas is the one that has all them.
Well,
so actually, he can just come to see you at the Gold Show in Ohio and pick it up.
You know what? Let's do that. That's perfect. I want to give him a swirl pan though for the original size, so I'll have to make sure I bring one to the Gold Show. So Thomas, let's meet up at the Gold Show. I'll bring that pan out with me, and if I forget it somehow, which it could happen because there's a lot of stress between now and when I leave for that show, then I'll email it to you or I'll mail it to you.
Okay. Yeah, Thomas says, yeah, Clint, that's fine. Bring him to the Ohio show.
I told you I love my Gold Claw. Man, I'm impressed that he knew that name.
And I saw him using the Gold Claw before too, so he's legit. All right.
Okay, cool.
Well, sweet. So you gave away a bunch of gold pans. We gave away all types of stuff. Clint, you're just people. You know, when I told people, yeah, Clint's going to be on the show, and they said, oh, that's the guy that gives away those Gold Claw gold pans, huh? And I didn't even see him in the chat room tonight either. So, sorry, buddy.
John, I hope you make it to the show. That would be cool.
So from what shows you got to go to again within the next whatever shows you're doing? If anybody's out there going to the shows,
we're going to Ohio. I believe it's Columbus, Ohio, and then after that is the Pomona, California, and that's it. Only 2 shows left.
2 shows.
Yeah.
So one in California, one in Ohio. So if you're in any of those areas, go to the Gold Show. Go up to Clint and say hi. Actually, just walk up and play dumb and tell him you want to see a demonstration of the the Gold Claw gold pan, and have him go through the whole spiel and then tell him that you saw him here on the show.
Well, Thomas can't get away with that because I remembered who he is finally.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think Terry Curry can get away with that either, but I don't think he lives anywhere. I think he's in Colorado or something. I'm trying to think of who else might show up. Well, if Don shows up, that would be a good one. I don't think I know Don.
I would love to go. Just hope I have the weekend off. Okay, Don.
Right. Well,
all right.
Okay.
Well, all right. I know it's late for you back there on the East Coast. I'm in Utah, so I'm in an hour later than normal for myself, too. So, because
yeah, it's 10 o'clock out here,
and it's almost 8 o'clock here. So,
well, thanks for inviting me on the show. It's been a while. It's fun. I really enjoy your crowd. Good people.
Hey, we appreciate you coming on. We appreciate you hanging with us, Clint. You're an awesome individual. We wish you very much success, and you know, like I said earlier, you're very passionate with what you do, and that shows. And you're a great guy to be around, a big inspiration, and people can learn an awful lot from you. Just not so much in the gold panning, but in the mining industry and everything as well. So.
Appreciate it. That means a lot to me.
So I got to find my outro ending.
Jason and I met in Colorado, he says. That's cool. Must have been at that gold show out there.
Yeah, so if any of those shows you guys are at, go by, say hi to Clint, and tell him to give you a demonstration, like I said, on the gold pen and gold. make sure you guys send me your email address or PM me. So, hey, Clint, we appreciate you taking time hanging with us, man. And until we meet again, we love you, brother. Thank you.
You take care. Good night,
All right.
everybody.
Thanks, Clint. All right, guys. Again, we want to thank Clint Wasburn, our guest, Gold Claw, Gold Pans, Wealth of Knowledge, and pretty cool pan. If you have tried it, if you haven't tried it, give it a try. But anyways, you guys, we want to thank you guys hanging with us. You guys all be safe. Take care of yourselves out there. And you know what they say, till our paths cross again. You guys all be safe. Thanks for watching.
Hey, everybody, there's nothing to lose. The boss has had you working like a barred mule. But the weekend's here, it's time to let out a yell. Let yourself go, people, let me tell you, there's nothing else like it when you're out here feeling this good. Everyone wants to go. Everyone wants to go. It's all about getting out, and it doesn't even matter if we're thanking gold. 'Cause everybody wants to go to my dredging hole. The gold rush days are here. I'm scratching and digging, looking for a bigger man to love that country, and the feeling that I'm getting no other compares. What I'd like to do is find a nugget or two, but it's all good when I'm here in the woods. Everyone wants to go. Everyone wants to go. It's all about getting out, and it doesn't even matter if we're finding the gold. 'Cause everybody wants to go to my dredging hole. Out, I got it all decked down. Don't look now, it's what you're thinking about. Well, the admission price is a bag of ice. Break off a piece of this paradise. Got a hammer tied up to a couple of trees, swinging back and forth to the sound of the leaves. Everyone wants to go. Everyone wants to go. It's all about getting out, and it doesn't even matter if we're finding the gold. 'Cause everybody wants to go to my dredging hole. Everyone wants to go. Everyone wants to go. It's all about getting out, and it doesn't even matter if we're finding the gold. 'Cause everybody wants to go to my dredging hole.